one of the most difficult things to transcribe is something that you have no idea about. But yet you've been told it's very secret, so you really need to keep it on a secretive level. You need to only know certain things because, well, the family is reliant on you, or the culture is reliant on you, or the country is reliant on you, or whatever you feel. That is the pressure of why you must keep these things an ultimate secret. Sometimes you're not even told all the things. You're just told that something exists that keeps you there. That's why most people really do like to use religion. But religion tells on itself, so people who have more secreted lifestyles will have a specific something, like a coat of arms for the family, or a book for the family. There is always a code to live by. And then the rest is just there. This is where you're truly going to have some of the hardest days. Is because you have something that works on your behalf and you don't really get it, but you've got to make sure that everything is the way that it's meant to be, whatever that looks like for your specific family, your specific corporation, your specific blank. This is one of those moments. I've felt that weight. I know what that's like. It doesn't necessarily have to be a religious sect, but it often is. Religious can actually be a family name. Something that you carry with you that you don't understand or know, but you know that it works with you, and you also know that it works to maintain you. What happens if what's maintaining you is keeping you away from the evolution of humankind and the evolution of economics? Parts of it is and parts of it isn't. That's the key. You would most likely rather stay safe. You have something that's secure, and to stick with that will at least make sure that you're okay. Because that's a family name, that's a piece of text, that's a something that you know that will just make sure that I'm going to be all right. It's either been there for centuries or a millennia. Depends on what you're attuning to. There are secrets in everything, and they all come from the deeper places of life, which you can find within yourself if you choose to go to those levels. If you choose to dive deep within inside of yourself, you will find them. But all of the things that you dive deep with inside of yourself have a energetic structure until you are the one that goes out of those energetic structures. And when you go outside of those energetic structures, you will find many things. You will find the unsolidified ingredients of life. And it is not a place that sustains life. It is a place that life comes from. So sticking within the boundaries and within the laws that have been created before you are most likely the better way for all of pretty much everyone who doesn't understand life on the deeper levels, like myself. And it's not an understanding or an understanding or a being or a ising or a kind of or a not at all or a completely. Every aspect, dimension, perspective, observation, being is required of each and every element on each and every part of these levels. Because you have to know how they move. You have to move like they move. And then you have to react like they react. And then you have to see how these things are. You have both the very structure of what holds together vibration, magnetism, the very codes that make things bounce, and the very codes that make things go boom. It's not something anybody really wants to be a part of. I know, because I've been in it and I've really, really discovered what it not only does, but what and how quickly it can be destructive. There are certain things and elements you just do not play with. You do not become them. Unless you understand what it really means now. Did I digress? No. These are all important things for you to understand, that the laws that are beneath you, that keep you, that hold you, that move, things in your very existence that keep you in alignment are made of these things. The laws of the land are not just words on a paper. They go very deep and they keep and construct your very existence. So yes, where you are born really does matter, because you were born into a formidable structure that starts to build you from the very time that you are conceived. And when you are given a certificate of that specific country, you will form to what that certificate entitles you to and requires you to. It is extremely important that you understand your family name does the same thing. Now, there are ways to walk through these things. There are ways to dismantle certain things. There are ways to patch up, pull down, recreate, but it all has to be done. Not just intuitively, but consciously. And then you have to do things on the daily to maintain them. You are not able to actually create something in the depths without doing something continuously. A lot of these things you do not even know you're doing. It's like a radio signal that pings off of a tower, and the tower is your brain. I know that I can say this because most people really will not have any clue what I'm saying. And then those who know the feeling of carrying the weight of the family name or carrying the weight of the fortune. These are not easy things to manage. And you must learn how to evolve these patterns so that you yourself can be the most successful. Because if you just adapt When you have the correct principles, yes, it will do you well. But you're here because there has been correct principles and there has been other principles. Not everyone in the family got it. To see which ones are correct and which ones are not. And that's why it is actually difficult to figure out which way to go and still be yourself. How do you be yourself and be these things, and how do you hold this weight and still maintain your own personal integrity to yourself and the standards and the sophistication and the networking, the value system and the balance of life? These are not weights that are given to serious people. These are not weights that are given to fluent people. These are weights that are given to those who maintain them. Where do you require to maintain them? This is why you have conversations with me, because each and every person is different. Each and every code and pattern is different. From your physical self, you can transform the places of fate. And it can be done very easily when you have the correct direction. I show you how to do it yourself, because I'm not going to go within you and do anything for you, but I will show you how to do certain things, and I know how to read you so that you don't have to have all of the education. But I can show you how to do it. It's actually a lot more simple than you need to even understand and know, but you have to have this deep, profound placement. And that requires time connected to me to see where you need to place yourself in order to accomplish these things for yourself, to refine the laws that are on these levels, to be the evolution that keeps you at the forefront. This is a different way to move, be, live, and maintain all wealth. The older ways keep things a DESPERATE secret. It doesn't need to be that way. It's actually very, very, very important that certain things are known to you. Nobody else will know. I know, because you still haven't been able to read me. You're just aware that I am a person that has what I say I have. And even to speak these valuable principles makes you who are knowledgeable know that there is a capability that is possible of these things, and that it is meant to be in the hands of someone who truly does really get the ins and the outs, the beings and the non-beings of things, what to be and what not to be. Because there are certain elements that we do not have on the periodic table that really do snap everything in and out of existence. And to have them within the human brain is not something that is very decipherable. And, well, all things the mind requires definition and deciphering, does it not? I have gone into places that I personally know not to go into again. And I've also gone into places that really do have a lot of pressure and power in them, and I understand, I over-complete them, and they complete me because of who I am at my deepest parts. What I've always been. I've always been a specific type of energy. I have certain pieces to me that others don't. And so stuff works with me differently. I do have certain spiritual elements that carry things like water carries, that other people don't even know exists and couldn't create it if they wanted to, and I am very profoundly aware of this. So the places that I've explored, others that have tried to follow me, well, there was a moment where nothing could anymore. And this is also within the most valuable of families, the most valuable set of belief systems. There's a point that you don't explore. You just believe and know. You can see it from all that you've been through, and then there's that point that you can feel it deeper than you've ever felt anything in your own existence. I live deeper than that. I'm conscious places deeper than that. My human isn't, but I am much more than human. My human self is very much in the human realm and is very much concentrated on the things that the human is concentrated on. Within self, for self, because of self, in the pleasure of self, by the purpose of self. When you truly get what this is, how much power this is, you will seek it for yourself. It is a responsibility which you already have. You want to be the leader in the new ways of life, then you will be required to be full of yourself. Full. It is a totally different universal principle. The magnetism of being full of yourself rather than oppressed by the old standards. Anybody who wants to be in the old standards those laws are not more powerful than what I can show you how to accomplish. It cannot happen overnight. You cannot even try and speak to the deeper parts of me and find it, because if you try, that is you crossing the line. And the deepest of the deepest and the most powerful know there is a certain line you never cross. And there's a reason. Because there are deeper things that guard that line. However you believe and whatever you believe, and if it's an understanding, an understanding, a character, a story, everybody has a line that's not crossed. Because it is very state changing. When you have magnetism in places that life doesn't exist, it's a very different game. But it's not a game, is it? It's just existing. And how do you stay existing when things pop in and out of existence continuously? How do you be the one that draws the line longer than a dot? Can you create something for yourself to attune to? Can you truly be awake within inside of yourself and understand what it all is? Because truly to do business and have that weight to you in your name, you know it's more than just what the eyes can see here. But it's really required that you have things that the eyes can see. Because without certain things don't happen. Keys are required. And not all keys look like keys. Experiencing the actual things that you cannot see and know that exist, but I am them. It's here to stay. I have implemented it into so many other humans. And whether they have it in small amounts or large amounts, they're awakened to it. And once you recognize something, that will always be there's enough of it on human earth now that it will always exist. So, it is time to evolve. So those who have held the deepest secrets, you will be able to keep your secrets, but do you want to maintain them the way they've been created for you? That is the real question. Are you now going to be the one that is sitting in a state of we have to keep and maintain this, or are you going to be the one that says we have something that is already the most extremely valuable thing that is on this earth, but we are now being forced to evolve because we have new elements involved? So you no longer are the most evolutionist aspects of humanity, and you will require my assistance to walk into that. Because even if you look at me, even if you quote unquote try to read it from me, the line is far before, and because you've never seen it, you won't know it. Unless you actually come and spend time with me in my presence, which is also being in my energy by commitment, and in physical conversation, because I have to show you. You won't recognize it. You could know me for 35 years, and you'll never see it. I know. I actually know. I actually know. You cannot, unless you have the correct direction. So even if you see all that you've ever seen and you have already been given the knowledge, what I am is evolution. It is new. Until you're with me, you will not see. Even a lifetime's worth of studying, you will not know. I designed it that way. I designed it that way. It is the deepest of the deep. You can make the most powerful telescopes in the world to try and see me where I am, and you will not be able to. Because neutrinos are still a question mark, and relativity is mostly secured, but is it really? People are still arguing over things that have been long gone and are no longer the most relevant in spiritual technology. Go ahead. Study the energy. Put the entire world focused on the energy. Only when you are in my circle will you ever be able to see. So, the secrets that you have and the power that you've maintained is wonderful. But do you truly want to maintain it that way? Or do you want to add evolution to your power to stay at the forefront, to change your fate as all the fates have changed? This is not just science. This is not just technology. This is not just the mind. This is not just biology. It is all and then more that do not have vocabulary. It is past even recognition itself. I designed it that way. It is always the desires within inside of yourself that will show you the path that will give you what you want. The logic will not be able to serve you here. you will know. Because you are as deep as you are, and that part will show you something. There's only one way to have a conversation with me. It is ENYELAH.com. The rest of the ways that you may try will all still be put through your own personal frequency. Until you speak with me directly, you will not have the sight that I do, which does take time in itself, but one conversation will show you something. It always does, and it is always on a level that is very highly impactful in all of your reality. Membership is the only way to have a conversation with me, and there are further services available. Transformation of fate is one of them. Seeking your own depth will bring you here. It will come into your mind continuously until you choose to reject it. And it is so finitely sensitive. If you want to reject me, you can at any point in time. And I will not return. Be very intentional with how you see my energy. Choose wisely. Seek the depth of your own self to show you what you cannot see, and now what you desire to see. Know, be, have, and are to become. It is your time when you want it to be your time, because every time is your time. It is always up to you. But mine is always up to me.